Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gaming Daddy channel. Today we're going to be talking about Marvel's Avengers. We're going to be talking about the game from a technical standpoint regarding its optimization and how the game runs. So this weekend, the PC beta is currently going on and the Xbox beta as well. And I've been playing on PC because I really wanted to test out this game to see how it'll run on a PC. Now, am I impressed as to how the game runs? To be very honest with you, no. I'm not impressed as to how it runs on a PC, but I do clearly understand that a beta build is different from the main build of a game, because they could be working on some aspects of the beta right now, and there are aspects of the game that I haven't necessarily put together. Like there's a texture pack that actually comes with the pre-order with the game, actually the full game. And so those things, being put aside, some people's computers may not, be able to run an extra texture pack when the game, comes out in full. So what we're seeing right now, the beta, is what a lot of people are probably going to judge the game by, or it's going to deter people from making a decision early, which kind of brings the question, are the developers going to be working, hard enough to patch this game right now, because its graphic fidelity and its performance is in many cases for different people mixed. So in my case, I was fortunate enough to have the game run on my computer. My computer has a 1070 graphics card and a 4790, 16 gigs of RAM, no problem. I had a few places where the game stuttered, like it was about to crash, but it didn't crash. It went on going, and I actually experienced that about 2 or 3 more times once I started playing all the other war table missions. Now, while I was streaming as well, some other people talked about how they couldn't even get the game to run and the game continued to crash. And what I even saw, which was quite interesting, was a lot of these people had, hardware that met or even exceeded the requirements that the game's developers had set in place. Now, if you even look very carefully on Steam, the game's requirements right beside it says to be confirmed. It has a TBC right beside it. So I don't know if it's a rushed deal where they just wanted to kind of get out PC requirements because people had been asking. But if you go there right now on Steam, as of the time I'm recording this video, you see something OS TBC. Now, that might also be a typo. Somebody probably went in there and edited it, and they haven't really polished it. But I think the page for all these video games are actually run by the developers, and so this is their own thing to come here and make sure. So they didn't even release the recommended system recommended requirements basically up until a few days ago. And so this is probably why we're having a lot of issues right now, because the game, we don't necessarily have a standard or a bare minimum that's actually working, because they're requesting or saying that you should have at least 2 gigs of VRAM, and then for the recommended settings you should have at least 6 gigs of VRAM or 8 gigs of VRAM. It's really weird. I mean, isn't it really crazy that the NVIDIA GTX 1060 6 gigs, or the AMD doesn't really make a lot of 6 gig RAMs that I know of anyways. I know of their 4 and 8 gig version. So I guess that's why they put that there. But a lot of PC players have had mixed reactions. They've all had mixed performance. Somebody said on a 2060, they had the game run smooth on 60 frames per second. They mentioned this on my comment section. Somebody else on my comment section said they had a 1080 Ti and they had terrible performance. So that's interesting. I have a rig here that I use for my editing. I was curious enough and I tried to run it on that rig, and I got some really decent frame rates as well, and I didn't have any problems so far. So I still need to kind of run it farther into the war table missions on that computer. That is my editing rig. So I don't really game on it, but I'll try to see if we can push the limits and see what this game is going to bring out. But there is one thing that continues to happen, which is the frame drops that constantly occur when you have so many particles on the screen. Now, how they're going to take care of this, I really don't know. Crystal Dynamics, the games that I've played that they do are games that are, they're single player games. I don't know how Final Fantasy and the other games run, the multiplayer aspects anyways, how they run on PC. So I don't know if they have a problem that many games face anyways when you have a lot of these effects going on and they all, basically just pixelate once they have too many elements on the screen. But that's probably like a small aspect of it. But I'm hoping that the development team are working really hard to get this game cleaned up before release. Now, two things are pertinent. There's a developer that develops Tom Clancy's The Division. Well, he's no longer working actively on the game right now. He works at Massive Ubisoft. His name is Frederick Thylander, and I saw a tweet from him actually saying that one thing a lot of people don't necessarily, know is usually beta builds are different from the regular build of the game. And, which is funny because many of us kind of know that, but, some people kind of, say, oh, the beta is basically going to be the game. Now, in reality, the beta is going to be a very close representation of the game, but we're going to also have slight differences that can happen, like performance changes and all, just like the way many games deploy like a 50 to a 60 gig patch on the day that the game comes out. So, we see things like that happen. And so that's basically what I'm expecting to happen for this game, to work on the textures, to work on the performance and those other things. And then finally, I just wanted to kind of just throw this in there. My recommendation for people right now who are sitting on the fence or who are playing the beta right now on PC, I would just recommend that you just hold off right now for PC. If you have a PlayStation 4, that might be the best place to play. Right now, I also have a PlayStation 4 and I have the game pre-ordered on PS4. So I'm probably going to stick with the PS4. The PC has not necessarily provided me what I was expecting. So thankfully, I haven't really pre-ordered. So I'll be happy to just stick with the PS4. And if they patch it and the performance gets better before, even by the open beta, then I might consider it, because I was considering actually making multiple, purchases for multiple copies. That's usually how I usually go in on these games, because I like to play with different, areas of the community. But right now, I think I'm kind of, I've kind of, pulled one leg back, but I'm still, gonna stick with my PlayStation run through and my PlayStation Play, no problems. But this is just something I wanted to just provide as an advisory for people who may be sitting on the fence. So let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. If you want to check out what settings I use for my 1070, I made a video about it. Just check my past video and you should see that video talking about all the settings that I use that's helped me to be successful. And even on my stream, towards the end of my last stream, we discussed some settings that may help some other people as well. So you can take a little bit of that back and forth, do some driver updates, and that should help you. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for your time and audience. Thanks for watching the video. Peace.